Now, two of the country's top-notch universities, the University of Ghana, Legon, and the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, have been cited by the 2021 Auditor Generals Report for offering unaccredited programs. In the case of KNUST, for example, the report said out of the 360 programs run by the university, only 61 have been accredited. 190 have been sent to the National Accreditation Board, that's the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, for accreditation and re-accreditation, with 109 yet to be sent to the Commission for accreditation. The Auditor General has therefore recommended to management to cease running programs that are unaccredited or having its accredited certificate expired until they are accredited or renewed to avoid sanctions by the Commission. Now, Legon, on the other hand, requires re-accreditation of its advertised 374 academic programs. This is because the listed programs have expired. Let's share with you the exact findings as captured in the Auditor General's report. Now, on KNUST, for example, the report says, we noted that out of the 360 programs run by the university, only 61 have been accredited and 190 sent to the Accreditation Board, which is the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, for accreditation and re-accreditation, with 109 yet to be sent to the NAB for accreditation. We recommended to management to cease running programs that are not accredited for having their accredited certificate expired until they are accredited or renewed to avoid sanctions by the NAB. Now, the report continues to say, on payroll, for example, they noted that 4 officers who were granted sabbatical leave by the university took up various appointments in other government institutions where they are enjoying full, that's basic salary and other allowances, monthly salaries, in addition to basic and market premium being paid by the university, that is KNUST, resulting in what they describe as double payment of basic salary and market premium by government in the sum of 488,868 cedis, 69 pesos. We recommended to management to ensure that the officers refund their salaries paid by the university for the sabbatical leave period to the consolidated fund. So that's what the Auditor General said on KNUST. They continued in terms of talking about the Development Office. We identified a number of defects during our fiscal inspection of the proposed construction of educational resort facilities for the Institute of Distance Learning at Mori. We recommended that the Director of Works and the project supervisor should rectify the defect identified at their own expense. Now, let's take you to what they found, what the Auditor General said on the University of Ghana. He says that we identified a number of defects. So on UG, we identified a number of defects. So we're going to bring you what the Auditor General said about the University of Ghana and their programs, that they identified that out of there are over 300 courses that have had their accreditation expired. So that's it. Now, let's talk about also the lecturers who had gone on sabbatical but had to still draw their salaries even though they were working for government institutions, amounting to what the Auditor General described as double salary payment. We've been joined on Zoom by the president of the Tertiary Education Teachers Association, the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, Professor Solomon Nunu, who is with us on Zoom. Prof, thank you so much for joining us here on our news. Now, how do we, progress about talking about double salary? Who erred in this instance? Is it the lecturer who's supposed to have known better, or it's the second recruiting institution which failed to do due diligence, or probably the university where the lecturer lectures, for example?
Okay, thank you very much for having me this morning on this issue. You will agree with me, until recently, what we had in the country was that when one is on sabbatical, the person draws salary from both the parent institution and then the institution where they find themselves. Recently, the Auditor General recommended, and that is what I think is being implemented at the moment, whereby if one is working for a government agency, then in that case, what is expected is that the person receives salary from only the government agency or the agency that the person has been sent to, and not the parent institution. So that is what, in my view, has been the practice, and that is what we have known for a while now, not too long ago, because the practice was different, as I alluded to earlier. So in this particular instance, who do we blame? Because that seems to be the import of your question.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a salary, and then I'm the one being paid. So if I'm being paid, for now, it's difficult for me to say that maybe the lecturer the institution between the two institutions, did they communicate enough so that they know that, okay, institution A is the one supposed to pay and not institution B. But where that communication doesn't take place, it becomes problematic. And for all you know, it may also be that the lecturer even drew their attention. I think in such instances, the onus lies on us, the ones who are taking the salaries, to also to draw the attention of the powers that be, so that the right thing can be done whenever such a thing occurs.
Refresh our mind again on what exactly the practice among the university fraternity is, if a lecturer is on sabbatical leave, for example.
Until recently, if a lecturer is on sabbatical leave, sabbatical leave is not leave whereby you can go home and rest. You are supposed to go to another institution and continue to serve the government or the fraternity. So once I go on sabbatical leave, let's say I've been sent on sabbatical leave to Joy FM, and Joy FM is a government-subvented agency. What happens is that in the past, I draw salaries from both institutions. I'll be getting my basic salary from my parent institution, whereas the new institution where I am, they will also pay me. Then recently, there was a directive to the effect that, no, for this particular one, you need to draw the salary from one of the institutions, either the parent institution or the new institution where you have gone to. So in this particular case, it's difficult to tell. Did it happen before the directive came or it happened after?
So that was where I was coming to. When was this directive given? Because this report is about 2021.
2021, then I think it's a recent thing, because the directive has been in effect since about 2017, 2018. So in that case, it means that the directive came before this report is coming out. So it means that whoever was doing the pay should have made sure that the right thing was being done. So in this particular instance, this is what has been identified. And I believe that it's up to us to put in the right measure so that there's enough communication between the two agencies, whereby one goes to secondment on or sabbatical leave at the place, because it can happen to any institution, but the communication is very important to ensure that these problems do not arise.
Prof, let me take your thought on university programs that you run in your universities. We understand that some universities are running programs that are not accredited. What are the processes for a university to advertise a program that I want to admit people to come and pursue this program?
The tradition has been that for one to run a given program, then the program must be accredited by the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. So that is the practice at the moment. However, what happens oftentimes is that the person or the institution might have submitted their documents for accreditation, and then it may be delaying. So sometimes that causes some of these infractions to occur, because for this particular report also, I must admit that I've not read the report to know that are they referring to new programs or they are referring to existing programs. More often than not, these problems arise as a result of problems associated with existing programs. So there's an existing program, the person has, the program is already running. So you have now submitted your documentation for it to be re-accredited. However, JTech, by virtue of the problems with their staffing, also may struggle in order for them to be able to get people to come to the place and review the programs as expected. So in a situation whereby they are unable to send the people, you also cannot say that The students who are in school should be sent home. So sometimes the issue has to do with problems with staffing at GenTech, which seems to be they seem to be running on a very, very lean staff. And so sometimes these problems arise. But I don't think it's something that is unsurmountable. I think quickly GenTech needs to organize and then send persons to these places once they have received the documents or the application for re-accreditation from the affected institutions so that they can re-accredit the programs for us to keep running.
You are in the academia. What's the essence of a university getting accreditation for a program that has been running?
Okay, in simple terms, I'll say it's just trying to avoid unemployed graduates association. Because the programs, if they are not re-accredited, it means that there's the likelihood that an institution may be running a program that fails to, should I say, they wouldn't be able to stand the test of time. Currently, we are having a system where you see that hardly will you see somebody having personal secretaries like we used to do in the past, unless the person is at a certain management level. For a situation like that, it means that every student must be computer literate. They must be very conversant with softwares they are using for their programs and so on and so forth. So where a program does not take some of these things into consideration, it means that you'll be training students who are not fit for the job market. And that is where accreditation comes in. So periodically, GenTech goes around the universities and accredits the programs. It's normally done every 5 years. So every 5 years, they come in, accredit the program. When it's about to expire, you resubmit your application, and again, you go through the processes. So every 5 years, they need to do that and make sure that the programs are relevant to the times we are running them.
So what will be the impact on me if I've pursued a program that has not been re-accredited or that has not been accredited?
Typically, what would happen is that in some cases, GenTech may, if they feel the institution is being recalcitrant, probably they have written to them, they've asked over and over and over, they may inform the public and the international community that for this particular university, their programs are not accredited. And it's the accreditation also, I must state, it's not just about the programs, but it's also about the institution as well.
Okay.
So number one, you need to get institutional accreditation. And then secondly, you get program accreditations. So it's possible that GenTech may withdraw the institutional accreditation of an institution that is running programs that are not accredited. Because when it comes to the time of accrediting the institution, then some of these problems may arise. But for the student or for the graduate who doesn't know that the program he's running is not accredited, that is where GenTech comes in, and they need to police and make sure that the right things are being done within the tertiary education space.
Professor Nuno, I'm grateful that you found time to join us. He is the president of the University Teachers Association of Ghana.